Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius. Today's the 31st of May. Yep, the last trading day of May, guys. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a view the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and then, yeah, we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets. No, don't leave. No, Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. But yeah, guys, look, now let's jump into the charts. The first one I'm going to pick up here is Nikkei 225, and let's take a look what's happening here. So basically, yesterday we saw the indices in the US declining. Some European indices were also declining, and we had that kind of continuation move lower here in the Asian market. So, but that mainly kind of came, I think, from the China numbers. Let me just double check. Yeah, so the Chinese manufacturing came out at a little bit lower. So the non-manufacturing PMI was at 54.5 against the expected 54.9, but even the previous one was at 56.4. So that's a bit of a decline, I would say. But the manufacturing PMI came out at much lower. So it was already before in contraction territory, below 50, basically at 49.2. The forecast was very optimistic. It was kind of hoping that it's going to come back into 51.4, but actually it came out at 48.8. So yeah, kind of staying in that contraction territory. And let me just double check for how long it has been there. Yeah, for 2 months actually, because in March, yeah, we got the numbers which are a little bit higher than that. So, okay, that's not good. So that's kind of bringing that little negativity here in the Asian indices. So you can see Nikkei drifting lower and breaking my upside support line taken from the low of the 11th of May. So this kind of opens the door for a possible further move south. To be honest, further move south, I mean that a larger correction to the downside, because again, given that we broke this upside line, what I was saying to you previously, that if we stay below this upside line after we break it, of course, then my next target is the 30,400 territory, or maybe even this upside support line taken from the low of the 15th of March. And then, yeah, we will kind of go from there. For now, in terms of the upside, if you're looking for some higher levels, then probably the simple option here is to, first of all, get rid of this upside line, the steep one, and just keep an eye on this barrier, the 31,670 territory. If we clear that, then yes, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and potentially we could attract more buyers into the game. ASX 200, so another decline, of course. ASX 200 declines on the bad China numbers, so that kind of directly affects Australia. And yeah, what I said to you previously, that if we do fall below the 7,135 territory, 31 territory right here, then yes, I'll get a little bit more excited with the downside. If we're going to stay below this, then yes, further downside is possible. Just let me double check something, guys. I think there we go. Yeah, I think I need to change something here on my video heading. There we go. It's not 55, it's 56, episode 56. Yeah, kind of decided to get stuck in the past. But anyway, look, basically coming back to the indices here, that's the situation for now. If we continue to trade below this territory here, this 7,131, I'll continue aiming to the downside. The China 50 index. Look, for now, I would say this way, that as long as we continue to trade below this hurdle, this 12,600 territory, I'm going to lean towards the downside. The only thing is that my target got reached. And I'm quite happy about this. I talked about this yesterday, that if we continue to trade below this, my next target is the 12,237, or maybe ideally that psychological 12,000 mark. Now, I've added this level yesterday, and I said that this is where it could stop a little bit. Well, talk about a perfect hit. Now, let's put it this way. If we continue to drop, yes, below this territory, then yeah, I will go lower. I will go to the downside. And then, yeah, like I said, I'll aim for that psychological 12,000 mark. For now, it's there's not much to talk about here. Look, if this hurdle continues to provide support somehow, maybe a bit of a retracement like this could be possible, something like that. But again, let's not rush into anything. Like I said, for now, I'm just kind of leaning towards the downside, and just that's it. Nasdaq 100. So yeah. This one's drifting back down. However, I cannot call it drifting back down. Yesterday, from the top 3 indices, this one was the best performing one. So S&P kind of was flat. Nasdaq was kind of gained a little bit, just a fraction, but the Dow was just slightly below, below zero mark. So, okay, look, what I'm looking at here at the moment is that we're getting this oscillation around that 61.8, which is fine. I talked about this previously. I said that if we continue to trade above this 61.8, then yes, more buyers could join in. My downside scenario ideally is from this area, from this upside line, and this 13,860 territory, or in a way that psychological 14,000 mark. But look, for now, we cannot really do much. And in a way, maybe, just maybe this little formation that we're having here could be maybe part of a bullish flag. We have our pole, we have our little correction right now to the downside. Maybe it could be seen as a bullish flag. Let's wait and see. For now, look, although I do want to consider the downside scenario here a little bit, but like I said, the fact that we are somewhat bullish, there is still hope around that. And again, with the whole debt ceiling, yesterday it passed the first stage. Yesterday, like what's the correct word of saying that, because they have such a complicated system that, oh my god, honestly, passed its first major test in the House Rules Committee. So yeah, that's one thing. So there are still negotiations today. I mean, still Republicans are not happy. Democrats are offering their thing. I think that it's gonna be, let's say, they'll pass it, but it will all look like, I don't know. It's like it was so close, that we barely missed. We barely we kind of missed the default, and like it was so close, and and the typical show that every politician likes to do. So unfortunately, it's playing the game with our lives. So yeah, but hey, it's something that we pay our taxes for. But anyway. Look, long story short, for now, judging from this, I mean, of course, we'll keep an eye on what's happening in there with that whole debt ceiling, and if it's any good or not. But the only thing is I suggest here is to kind of try to position yourselves with stop losses. Well, in general, always have a stop loss, because in case this suddenly spikes or drops, heavily, so that you would be at least protected somehow. Because again, as much as it could work in your favor, don't forget about the negative side as well. I get it. You need to live and think positively, but again, these moments happen, so just kind of protect yourself and have your risk management accordingly adjusted. Also, we have today the JOLT numbers. Let me just double check what the forecast is in there. By the way, we have the during the European session, we have the German CPI numbers, the preliminary ones that are coming out. That's going to be quite interesting. GDP numbers are coming out from Canada as well. And yes, the US JOLTs job opening numbers. So currently those are expected to rise. Okay, that's interesting because look, all eyes are on this as well. So this is continuing to stay above 50, the probability for a rate hike. Again, this might change going back, going closer to the 14th of June. So let's just leave it for now. I'm just going to continue. I'm out of curiosity. I'm just going to continue monitoring the situation here, how the percentage changes. But I'm not really going to get surprised if, let's say, closer to the 14th of June, it will be like a 50-50 split, and then it will be like another beautiful show, and everybody will be thinking what to do. So, long story short, for now, coming back to this, I would say if you're looking for something a little bit maybe more reassuring or something like a level or something like that, then look, maybe you could keep an eye on this little hurdle, this 14,432 zone. That's the high of Monday. I'm not talking about the high of Tuesday here, but I'm talking about the high of Monday. So if we jump above it, maybe, we could see some more buyers joining in and potentially dragging this one a little bit higher. Now, in terms of the downside, well, look, I've mentioned this idea where I have drawn this, Fibonacci here, but I think I've drawn it in a different way a little bit because we didn't have that spike. Yesterday's spike. So let me extend the lines to the right. Prices. There we go. So look, we're currently resting on that 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci here. If we draw this Fibonacci very low like this. So look, if we do fall below it, my next target is the 38.2, which is around the 14,186. Dow drifted lower. Okay, so that's fine. So far, so good. Everything is according to the rules. Oh, by the way, sorry, before I can continue, I can see a person commenting. Honestly, that makes me happy straight away. Like I can see a person commenting in the live chat. Hello, SA1Z. Hello to you. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. There we go. That's my Wednesday done. Fantastic. I can finish off the video now. But yeah, look, guys, honestly, thank you very much. I thank you very much for the rockets. Thank you very much for the comments. I don't know, it just kind of livens up the chat in general, the video. It doesn't seem that I'm kind of talking with my face here, in the screen. But anyway, look, coming back to the Dow. So far, so good. Look, I'll stick to the same game plan. I said to you that if we do drop below the 33,000 mark, then yes, I'll go lower. And my next target is going to be the 32,914 territory, which if it gets broken as well, then yeah, perfect. Further declines are possible. But I'm only aiming for this 32,620 territory. And then we'll go from there. For the upside, I would like to see a push above the 33,308 zone. If we do get a push above that, then at the same time we'll get a break of this downside line, and potentially more buyers could join in. A forthcoming higher high would be confirmed, and maybe at the same time we would pass these two EMAs, the 50 and the 100-day EMA. The German index, DAX, declined. Yeah. However, declined and got a hold up near this 15,800 zone. So, okay, that's part of the deal. Look, I mean, I said to you that I need to see a clearance of this territory, and I would like to see the index staying below that 15,800. So far, I'm getting this. Hey, maybe this is part of the range. Who knows? As I said before, while I'm stuck in this territory, I am kind of neutral. However, the one thing that is also pushing me a little bit more towards the downside is the fact that we fell below the 50-day EMA. The only problem that I have here is that this is the Wednesday candle. This is the futures, guys. The one that I have here on my chart are the futures. So it's at the moment, because it still could end up pushing back up. So we still have the whole day to go through in Germany here. So yeah, That's why we need to be a little bit on the careful side. Not everything is straightforward. If you do want to take the gamble, let's say, and do kind of, start considering the downside from here, the fact that you need to have your stop loss in place, that's, out of question. I mean, that's for sure you have to do that. So long story short, if we are looking for some higher levels, then I would need to see a push above this 16,063 territory. Not only a false breakout, but also a nice, body of the daily candle staying above it. For the downside, the same story, but the opposite way. The 15,800, that's my breakout for the downside. FTSE 100. So, look, FTSE did my goal. I was aiming for the 7,474 territory. Boom. Fantastic. Mission accomplished. What can we do next? Well, next, basically, we have to wait now. Again, if DAX, for example, it found its support here, its floor, maybe it'll rebound. Maybe FTSE could do the same thing, rebound from this territory and, go back up, maybe retest the 200-day EMA from underneath. Look, but in general, I think that the better option is to just kind of wait for a drop below the 7,474 territory here and then go from there. For the upside, ideally, a break of this downside line is needed. However, I think that from the shorter term perspective, we could keep an eye on this little highlighted zone right here. This 200-day EMA as well could be a nice, good kind of indication for the upside. So if we do pop above it, then yeah, I will consider a move to the upside. So if we do push back above the 200-day EMA and stay above it, I'll consider a larger correction to the upside, because don't forget that we're still below this downside resistance line. USD, which is the DXY and which is the US dollar index. So this is the interesting bit. Now, yesterday I talked about this barrier, this 104.25, where I said to you that if we stay above it, then yeah, I'll go higher. But look at this, we pushed higher, then we drifted back down, broke the upside line, we pushed back up. And I think that what's happening here is that we are ignoring this upside line, no longer needed. So what I'm going to do here right now is this. I'm going to take a simplistic approach and very tight approach. And because, look, if we do push and stay above this 104.25, I'll go higher. If we do stay below the 104.25, I get it. It's like one level here, not really ideal, not something that I normally do. But if we do remain below this, then maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. And maybe also you could keep an eye on this little hurdle, this 104.12. Again, not ideal, but maybe something, at least something here, which, could help us out here with the downside. Now, of course, and that leads me into gold. Gold, beautiful. Guys, look, I talked about this 1937 territory yesterday. I said to you that if we do stay below it, because yesterday we were falling below it during my morning video, and I said to you, but if we somehow climb back above it and stay above it, then maybe this could open the door to some higher levels, and it did. Not only that, not only that we pushed back above this upside line, we also broke the downside line and stayed above it, and we stayed above that 1950 territory. So, everything's kind of pointing towards the upside now, and my next target could be this 50-day EMA near the 1977 territory. I'm going to aim for that for now, and then maybe we'll see. If we do get a clearance of that one, great, I'll go further north. But if we don't, well, guys, that could be a tricky one. So maybe then we'll have to just kind of see what can we do, what can we squeeze out of it next. But something tells me that we might stick around here in between the 100 and the 50-day EMAs, and then we'll see how this kind of plays out in a way. Look, for now, I would say this way: that if we want to go higher, then yes, everything's kind of leaning towards that right now. As long as we stay above the 1950 territory, I'm going to go further north. If we somehow start falling, now let me get rid of this downside line, no longer needed. If we start falling again below this upside line and we fall below that 1937 territory, I will go to the downside. I get it, we could be missing out on a bit of territory here, but at this point, I'd rather play it safe. Silver. Silver is pushing nicely to the upside. So I talked about this little hurdle here, this 22.95 zone, and this 200-day EMA as well. So yeah, in a way, everything's kind of pointing towards the upside a little bit, but only up until the upper side of this broadening triangle pattern, or broadening wedge pattern, let's put it this way. However, my preferred scenario to the upside is from here, from this 23.5257 territory, and then yes, we could go from there. Long story short, that's, like I said, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside, but only up until here. But if we clear this upper side here, this territory, then yes, more upside could be possible. Oil, boom. Boom, boom, boom. There we go, guys. I talked a lot about this. Look, why I'm so happy, because I said to you previously that, yes, we are forming a possible ascending triangle pattern. Okay, great. Can this break? According to all the TA rules, these tend to break to the upside, but I said to you that a confirmation break is still needed, because we have seen this happening in the opposite direction many, many times as well. So that's why. And you can see I had my downside scenario from a break of this upside line, and I said my next target is the 69.43. Perfect. What's next? What's next? What's next is this. For now, I would say this. Well, let's see how this is going to play out here. If we continue to trade below that 69.43, 44 territory here, I'm going to go further south. Now, I have this level here, the 66.83, but I think I have to adjust it. I think I have to mark this one, the 67.50. That would be a little bit better, I think, and more relevant. And then, yes, we could just kind of go from there. For now, I'm going to take a simplistic approach here, and the reason why I'm very careful is because I don't want to see this happening, where we're going to end up in a range and we're just going to start moving sideways, and that no fun for that. You know, unless you're a range trader, then yeah, maybe it's going to be fun for you. But if we do stay, yes, below the lower side of this, let's call it a potential range. If we do stay below it, then yes, I'll go lower a little bit towards that 67.50 territory. In terms of the upside, look, maybe you could keep an eye on some of these levels here, maybe the 70.67, or maybe this one right here, or maybe that one right there. All these inside swing lows here. So you can start off, for example, with this one, the closer one, the 69, oh sorry, the 70, the psychological 70 territory. If we do push above it, you can go towards that 70.67. Clear that one, then you can go towards that 71 territory. Clear that one, then you can go for it. So basically, you see, this is not really as straightforward as with other scenarios. So something like this, you know, you kind of has to be kept in mind. So yeah, for now, that's the game plan. Let's see how we can play this one out. Another problem here, actually, with the upside, which I really just found out here, that it's this. Maybe this downside line could be a little bit in the way. Again, not sure. If you want to stick to that one, then good. Be my guest. Honestly, this could be also good, but for now, from the shorter term perspective, like I said, I'm keeping an eye on that psychological 70 territory. I want to see what's going to happen with it. But if we do continue to trade below that 69.43, then yes, I will go further south. Just a quick update on cotton, guys. I spoke about this one of my favorite ones becoming. And look, we've cleared again this downside line, and we stayed above it, and we were staying above the 100-day EMA or so far. So far, so good. So in other words, if you're looking for some higher levels, then maybe still, you know, a push above that 85 territory could be great. But if we, let's say, you know, continue to trade above this downside line, it's also good. It's also like an option here, and you know, maybe then we could, but just for that extra confirmation, like I said, a push above that 85 territory could be ideal. Bitcoin, let's jump into that one. So it drifted nicely to the downside. I talked about this yesterday. I said to you that we fall below the 27,512. I'm going to go to the downside, and there we go. We're going lower. My next target is the 26,550 zone here, which is coinciding nicely with the 100-day EMA. Again, we'll see if that can get reached. So far, like I said, I'm targeting that situation, that level, and then we'll go from there. We'll see if it clears that, then yes, further declines are possible. My arrow here in terms of further declines should be somewhere up until here, because this is quite an important area of support. This one, the 25,810 zone, approximately around there. But again, we'll get to that point if we do get to that point. For the upside, a break of this downside line is needed. Simple as that. Polkadot, something that I don't look at very often, but occasionally I do look at these exotic cryptos in a way. Just bear with me one moment. So, sorry about that. So yeah, look, I spoke about this one previously, and I said to you that in order for me to go, let's say, higher or lower, or in terms of going lower, a drop below this 515 level is required. In terms of the upside, I need to push above the 5.61 area, because at the same time, we would climb above the 50-day EMA, and then we could aim for that 100-day EMA or this 200-day EMA. And then we'll kind of go from there. That's kind of all. That's it, honestly. On Polkadot, that's it. AUDUSD. So there we go. So far, so good. We are testing this hurdle. We're kind of breaking it already, the 0.6490 territory. I said to you yesterday that if we do drop below it and stay below it, then yes, further declines are possible. So far, so good. If we do continue to trade below that hurdle, below that 0.6490 territory here, then yes, further declines are possible, because a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. In terms of the upside, I need to see a push above the 0.6564 territory right here, and then we could go higher. Oh, excuse me, guys, for that. Yeah. So, for now, like I said, that's the game plan. It's nothing new. I've talked already about this in my previous videos, so yeah, I'm just going to stick to that. AUDNZD, now this is a quick update here. So, previously when I talked about this, I said that if we do break this downside line, I will go higher towards the 1.0765 territory right here, and we got that test. Then I said, well, I didn't say anything actually after that, but basically, after a break of this one, I think I missed this one, because my next target would have been the 200-day EMA, which we tested perfectly. So, well, I kind of missed that. But now let's put it this way: if you're looking for some further upside, then yes, a break of that 200-day EMA is needed, and maybe also just an extra confirmation, a push above the 1.0829 territory could be ideal. Then we could start targeting the 1.0931 territory, and then we could go from there. But to be honest, judging from what I see here, I think that maybe let's say we could see a bounce around here moment. If we do fall back below the 100-day EMA, I'm only going to aim for the 50-day EMA here, because here it might, stall here a little bit. Maybe you'll find support and then reverse and push back to the upside, create a higher low, and then go back higher. Now at this point, I think we can draw a Fibonacci here, and look at how well the 23.6 coincides with my hurdle here. Oh, I'm happy about this. Honestly, this is great. This is together with the 100-day EMA as well. So basically, if we do drop below the 23.6, the next target is the 50-day EMA, together with the 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci, and then we will, we'll go from there. So yeah, for the upside, a simple approach here: I have a push above this barrier is required. Then it will confirm a forthcoming higher high. Jumping into NZDUSD, mission accomplished on this one. I talked about this previously. I said to you that if we do fall below the 0.6085 territory, then yes, the next target is the psychological 0.60 territory, which we managed to reach perfectly. There we go. Boom. Fantastic result here. Now what's next? Well, I think we could bounce around here for a little bit, but if we do drop and stay below the 0.60 territory, my next target, ideal target, is around here. Around these two levels, which are almost coinciding, but basically it's the 0.5840 territory. So that's going to be my ideal scenario if we do fall below the 0.60 territory and stay below it. Now, don't get me wrong, at some point maybe we'll find some support somewhere, maybe, near the 0.59 territory or something like that. But look, we'll get to that point if we do drop and stay below the 0.60 territory. For now, if by any chance we climb back up above above this 0.6085 territory right here, then yes, I will consider a larger correction here to the upside. NZDJPY, fantastic. I've mentioned this one. And I talked about this, and I said that if we do fall below the 50-day EMA, my next target is the 100-day EMA together with the 200-day EMA, and then maybe even this 83.72 mark. Well, perfect hit. Wonderful. Now what's next? Well, again, if it continues to slide, then yes, certainly my next target is this upside line taken from the low of the 24th of March. But yeah, so far so good. Look, like I said, if we do fall further, then yes, my next target is the upside line here. This upside line can go, the steep one. Like I said, I'll stick to the downside. For the upside, what we can do here is we can actually mark this little hurdle, which we previously looked at support, this 84.45 area, approximately around here. If we do climb back above it, then yes, I will consider a move back to the upside, aiming towards the 85.34 territory, or maybe even higher. Look, the reason why I'm looking at this level as well here, it's also, if we push above it, we would push back above all of the EMAs here on my daily chart, and then yes, potentially more buyers could join in. USDJPY, beautiful reversal, beautiful break of this upside line finally. So 139.90 territory is getting violated, and we're currently staying below it. So in a way, I'm going to lean further south, and especially if the indices are going to slide, if they're going to move lower, then everybody's going to be jumping into the yen and kind of buying yen. Look, we can get rid of this upside line. Fibonacci, kinda-ish. From here, we're currently near that 23.6. Look, if we do clear this 23.6, my next target is the 138.75 or this this 38. Excuse me, guys. Just bear with me one moment. Let me clear up my throat. Okay, apologies for that, guys. I had to clear up my throat a little bit. Yeah, a little bit saggy in the morning. But look, what I'm looking at here at the moment is that if we want to go lower, a drop below that 23.6% retracement here on the Fibonacci could be ideal. We could then aim for that 138.75, and then my next target is the 38.2. This Fibonacci is drawn from the low of the 11th of May to the high of the 29th of May. So yeah, for now we are doing that 23.6. Let's see if we can clear it further. If we can, then yes, I'll go lower. USDCAD, this one's a little bit on the opposite direction. Well, the reason why it's in the opposite direction is not that because the dollar is so strong here. No, it's the weaker Canadian dollar due to the fact that oil has declined. And look, I talked about this yesterday. I said to you that if we continue to trade above this upside line, then yes, there is still potential for some higher levels. But ideally, I would like to see a push above the 1.3655 1.5 territory right here. If we clear that one, then yes, I will go to the upside. We have a little obstacle here, the 1.3668, but if we clear that one as well, then yes, a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed. For the downside, a drop below the 1.3568 level is needed. USDCHF, guys, USDCHF. Perfect explosion here, fantastic. Everything's according to the rules. Look, I've taken a very careful and cautious approach on this one, and basically I said to you that if we do clear this territory, I'll go higher towards the 100-day EMA, and then if that gets cleared, my next target is the 200-day EMA. Simple as that. For the downside, I need to see a break of this upside line, and then yes, we could go lower. So if we break this upside line, then yes, I will go towards the 50-day EMA, but ideally I'm targeting that 0.90 territory, actually, the psychological 0.90 zone. And if that gets cleared, then yes, certainly further declines are possible, but let's go slowly for now. Let's first see if we can get a break of this upside line if we are looking for some downside. But at the moment, it's more leaning towards the upside. GBPCHF, also quite an interesting one. Look, we're currently near my key resistance barrier around here, this 1.1260. The only little issue is that, oh, and by the way, I haven't looked at this pair for quite a while. So we're near my resistance barrier here, but I think that a good option here is to mark this level here as well, the 1.1277. If we do clear that one, now that's where, yes, more buying interest could come in. The only problem that I have with the buying interest is that, look, we have this 200-day EMA, which could still provide resistance. Okay, if we clear that, but then we have this downside line, which is still in play and which is still needs to be respected. So in other words, at the moment, what we're looking at is only a possibility for a larger correction before another leg of selling. So basically something in line of this, But again, will that happen or will it be time to actually break the downside line? We'll have to wait. But at this point, from the shorter term perspective, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside. In terms of, let's say, the downside scenario here, well, we could draw this upside line and let me draw it. So if you're looking for some lower levels, maybe actually a drop below this territory would be ideal. So a drop below the 1.1149 zone could be a good option. And if we do drop below this, then yes, lower levels here could be met. So, long story short, if you're looking for some downside, then yes, a drop below this upside line, below the 1.1149 territory would be needed. EURNZD, my target got reached. The 1.78, the territory between the 1.7839 and 52 levels. Well, actually, we reached the 1.7839. So great result here. Okay, not exactly like a curve this way, but eventually reached the target. So okay, all methods are good. Now what's next? Well, next, to be honest, if we clear this territory right now, then yes, I will go higher. Then yeah, I'll consider some higher levels. If you're looking for some downside here, then something like this, to play it this way, could be a possibility as well. So the 23.6, keep your eyes on that one. If we do fall below this this 1.7680 territory, which is around that 23.6% retracement on my Fibonacci here, then yes, I will consider a bit of a larger move to the downside here towards the 38.2 or this 1.7557 territory. And then we'll go from there. EURUSD, guys. So this one is a tricky one. So this is the moment where I said to you yesterday that, look, with gold, it kind of looks like it's, moving in the same direction. It could be a good hedge moment here. You sell on one, you buy on the other, but this is the warning that I was giving you, that sometimes it doesn't do the same thing. So, and you can see, yes, it's EURUSD here is drifting to the downside. while gold, for example, is pushing to the upside. So yep, that's why you cannot really trust this idea all the time, and that's why you just go from what you have. And in this case here, look, we fell back below the 200-day EMA. Can we stay? Now, this is for me the most important today. Can we stay below this territory? If we can, great, I'll go lower. If we cannot, well, this is where maybe, we could see, maybe consider some higher levels. But to be honest, at this point, 1.0760, that's what I need here for the upside. Until then, it can oscillate as much as it wants. It can move sideways as much as it wants. I'm not really going to do anything. So I'm going to keep for now these trend lines, but I think that soon I'm going to get rid of them depending on how this is going to trade. But at this point, I'm keeping an eye on that 200-day EMA. If we continue to trade below it, yes, I'll go further south here. So, guys, yeah, that's it. This was a very quick session today. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching this one till the end. Once again, SA1Z, thank you very much for your comments. Guys, everybody, thank you very much for the comments in my previous videos as well. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much for the rockets as well. So, I hope you'll have a fantastic trading day today. Don't overtrade. Remember, today is the last trading day of the month. So it might give you a lot of surprises, and a lot of trading strategies might not work today because the market might be a little bit chaotic. But then, of course, the beginning of the month, tomorrow, that's going to be interesting as well because we do have some data coming out. So check your economic calendar for that. Like today, as I've mentioned already, today we do have the JOLTs job opening numbers. Those are gonna, those might kind of move the market a little bit. Of course, we'll continue monitoring the situation with the debt ceiling and yeah, stuff like that. And on Thursday, for example, we have in the early hours in the Asian morning, we get the Cajun manufacturing PMI number. So if you're trading the Asian session, keep an eye on that one. Yeah, retail sales from Australia also are coming out. But then later on in the day, we have the GDP from UK. We have the manufacturing PMIs. ADPs from the US will get the. Oh, by the way, it seems like the ECB's President Lagarde is speaking. So, and yeah, we got the unemployment number from the Eurozone and the preliminary CPI numbers. Okay, if you're trading the euro, that could be quite an interesting one. And also, the ECB publishes account of monetary policy meeting. Well, tomorrow, not only that's the first day of the month, it could be quite an interesting day. Initial jobless claims, initial and continuous jobless claims are coming out from the US. ADP numbers, ISM manufacturing. Oh yes, there we go. It could be quite an interesting one tomorrow as well, guys. So be prepared. Yeah. We'll see. I'll pick up on this tomorrow as well, of course, in my tomorrow's morning video. So join in 6 o'clock GMT time. I'll be happy to see you there. Thank you very much for everything, guys. I really appreciate your time, your views, your rockets. Boate272, thank you too. Thank you very much for that comment. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody. As always, I'll finish off with the same words that I always say. Don't overtrade. Have your stop loss in place, and risk only what you can afford to lose, and everything will be fine. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So, like this video, we speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.